Alright, welcome to your tutorial for your SejutaKG Mindsheet. I'm Gabriel, and I'll be taking you through how to fill out your profile before you come for our training. As you can see, this is an Excel file. It has 9 tabs in total from your profile in red, and these yellow ones will be filled up during your training, and the green ones will be to help you plan your lifestyle down after you finish your training. So coming to today, we're going to just focus on the profile tab of the Mindsheet as well as the need tab of the Mindsheet, and I'll get to that later through the video. You should be have been able to download this file or have been emailed this file. So before you start filling it, it's good to save the file in its proper file name. I'm going to show you how that's done right now. There we go. And here we go. Okay, so you can see that the file name is in the form of a reverse order for dates as well as your name and the Mindsheet with the version number. So I'm just going to put today's date, which is 2024/06/27 to show that this was the date this Mindsheet was created. And I'm just going to put my name here just to mark it, and that's it. If you have a duplicate file, you might see this bracket one there. You can go ahead and delete that. If you don't, then this is the right way to save the file format for you to record in the future. We put the date there because you might want to create a new Mindsheet a few months later when things have changed for you for your basic information. Okay, so now you've saved the file name. We're going to go ahead and put in the date for today. Today's date is 27th of June in 2024. Okay. Put in your gender. 1 if you're a female, 2 if you're a male. I'm a male, so I'll put 2. That should change to male. You can go ahead to fill in the rest of your information, which is your first name, surname. I'm just going to put a fake mobile number right now, but time. And I'll just put a fake email as well at fakeemail.com. Oops. Type that wrong. fakeemail.com.my. That's not my email, don't worry. And gender should be saying male because I put in 2. And date of birth. Well, I'm not gonna fake this one in case you want to send me a present. It's 12th November 1975, and straight away you should see here your current age popping up. Okay, and then avatar. If you can see these little triangles here, I leave little messages for our users to explain a little bit more in case you're not sure. An avatar is just something that's something that takes you sort of out of yourself and imagine a persona, which will be fun during the training and during our discussion. So I'm just gonna say Veritech Fighter. Some of you might know what this is. If you do, then you're an uncle like me. Okay, so now then we're gonna enter our weight, our height, our waist in cm, and also our resting heart rate, followed by our need calories. Okay, so we're going to cut to a video to show how we get all these information accurately. So let's start with the easy one, which is taking your weight measurement. And I like to weigh myself in the morning after waking up, but before drinking or eating anything, just to be consistent with your actual body weight changes over time without other things affecting it, like a heavy lunch or drinking a lot of water. So really simple. Just if you have a scale at home, just try to get as naked as possible without any clothes on to get your most accurate body weight measurement. But if you are using it in a public place, then of course when you're wearing your clothes, you can minus anywhere from 0.5 to 1 kg from your weight measurement to get your actual body weight. Okay, so this is a digital scale, which is really accurate down to 2 decimal places. I'm going to stand on it. So my reading here is 79.2, and I'm wearing trousers and a shirt and socks maybe. So I think I'll give myself 1 kilogram less. So my actual reading, which I'll enter into my Mindsheet, is 78.2. Okay. So next we will move on to your height measurement. So now I'm going to take my height, and you might not have one of these at home, which is a height meter on the wall. If you don't, try and check your passport, especially if you're already an adult, 21 years old, you should have your accurate height. If not, you can always just come for our training where we will measure your height for you. So if you have one of these at home, just make sure you take off your shoes. Stand as close to the meter as you can. If you can do this with a friend, with a level board, it's much easier and more accurate. Okay, so we'll just try and inch away. You can see the height is 181 cm. That's how you get your height. In order to measure your waist accurately, you need to follow a few steps. And I think this video from the British Heart Foundation is a really, really good and clear instructional video on how to measure your waist. So just watch this first, and I'll come back to you with some more local variations.
How do you measure your waist? Find the bottom of your ribs and the top of your hips. Place a tape measure around your middle at a point halfway between them. This will be just above the belly button. Make sure it's pulled tight but isn't digging into your skin. Breathe out naturally and take your measurement. Take your measurement again just to be sure.
So you've seen the video of how to measure your waist. Just want to add on a few supplementary instructions in case things are not clear. Of course, the easiest and most accurate way to measure is with a tailor's measuring tape. But I can understand if most people don't have one of these at home. So you can also use some other things. One is IKEA measuring tape, which you can borrow or take from IKEA showroom. The only thing is that the tape does not usually start at 0 cm, so you might have to fold it a little bit to be at 0, and then you use it the same way as you use a measuring tape. The other limitation is that it's only up to 100 cm, so if your waist is more than that, you'll have to use our next method. Okay, so just remember, just below your belly button but above your hip bone, if you're wearing a shirt, you can minus 1 cm from the actual measurement. And remember to sort of relax your tummy. See, my tummy is popping out now. But also, once you are ready, have it around your waist, you can breathe out. Relax your tummy and breathe out. And you can also do it a few times, just to be, take the average of a few times to make sure you got it right. So it looks like mine's about 89 cm, minus 1 cm if you're wearing a shirt, so 88. Okay, now if for some reason you don't want to go to an IKEA showroom and take their stuff, you can also use a string, like a raffia string, or sort of a thick thread, something like that, and do the same thing, but you will need a measuring tape to measure that. Once you have the measurement, the measuring tape will actually calculate the actual length. So same thing, somewhere between your belly button and your hip bone, and then relax your tummy, and then breathe out. Okay, so that's your waist measurement, and you line it up with your measuring tape. So you make sure you line up your string with the 0 mark on your measuring tape, and here we're using the centimeter scale. Don't use the inches scale. And you can see that I'm about maybe 87 cm around the waist. So that's how you measure your waist. Remember, you want to relax your tummy. So I'm showing you my fat tummy here, but also breathe out. And the reason why we do that is because we want to measure your abdominal fat, not the air in your tummy. Okay, so this will be a very good proxy for your overall fat content in your body. So next we're going to measure your resting heart rate. So now we're going to measure your resting heart rate. And as you can see, I'm sitting down because I need to be resting for it. Resting heart rate is a really, really good indicator of your overall fitness and health, and also your projected longevity. It is a really good proxy for your systemic health, especially your cardiovascular health. So yeah, it's really good to be mindful of your resting heart rate, especially since if you want to go on an exercise journey to get more fit, you want to know what the you use your resting heart rate to get to find out your, say, your zone 2 or your zone 3 heart rate, which is the heart rate that you should be exercising at for optimum health. So we're going to show you two methods today of how to get your resting heart rate. One is digital, using a pulse oximeter, and one is analog, by using your fingers and a stopwatch. So here we are using a pulse oximeter to take your resting heart rate. And I'm not sure if these items were really popular during COVID when people were checking their blood oxygen levels, I think. But it also does measure your resting heart rate, your heart rate basically. And just to remind you that when you measure this, try to have been at rest for quite a period of time, preferably not having drunk any coffee or any high caffeine drinks, which will artificially raise your heart rate. Because you want to get as close to what your heart rate is operating, is beating at rest. So really easy to use these things. Just turn it on and insert one of your fingers. I like the third finger just because I feel it's more accurate. But yeah, you can use, just insert your finger and the reading should start to show after a few seconds. As you can see, my heart rate is 86, which is terrible, but I think it's quite clearly not my resting heart rate because I just had a brisk walk coming to the office and had a double espresso. Okay. So remember, if you have one of these at home, try and take this measurement in the morning after you wake up. I know you're a bit drowsy, but try to set up maybe an alarm for it so that you can get as close to your resting heart rate as possible. So if you don't have one of these at home, or if you don't have a wearable which tells you your resting heart rate, like a Fitbit or Apple Watch, those two items usually very easy to get your resting heart rate. But if you don't have any of these items, we're going to show you now how to get your resting heart rate with just a stopwatch. So if you do not have a pulse oximeter or a wearable such as an Apple Watch or a Fitbit to measure your resting heart rate digitally, you can also just do it with your fingers and a timer or a stopwatch. So what you want to do is, again, remember, try and do it in the morning when you wake up. That's the most accurate measurement for your resting heart rate. And then what you need to do is to find your pulse. And you can do it by feeling your wrist, or you can feel your pulse at your neck. I prefer the neck because it's a bit more easier to find. And what you do is you basically put your finger there, measure your heartbeats, and you can set your timer or stopwatch to 30 seconds. Then when you start your stopwatch, you start counting. And when it ends, you take that number of beats you felt and multiply it by 2 to get your resting heart rate in beats per minute. You can also just set your timer and stopwatch to 1 whole minute. That might be a bit more accurate, and you just have to wait a little bit longer and count all the way to 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to show you my stopwatch, timer. It's set to 30 seconds. And when I press start, I'll start counting my heartbeat. It's taking some time to find it. And okay, here we go. So I counted up to 38, maybe 39 beats. So if I multiply that by 2, I should have 78, which is still not very good. As I said, in the morning when I wake up, I think my resting heart rate is about 60 to 65, and it can be affected by walking, movement, and drinking coffee. So yeah, if you measure to 30 seconds, I multiply that by 2. So if you want to measure at 1 minute, you just use that number. So enter, for me, I will enter, well, I won't enter 78 for my resting heart rate. I'll take the one I measured in the morning when I woke up. And go ahead and enter that into your Mindsheet profile as your resting heart rate. So now we are going to measure your walking pace in terms of number of steps per minute. Slow walkers average between 80 to 90 steps per minute, and fast walkers at about 120 steps per minute. So it's good to know the speed that you walk at so that we can give a more correct estimation of your calories you burn when you are walking. And so we'll know better how many calories you burn when you walk for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or even 1 hour. So to do that, you just get your timer or your stopwatch again, and you can set it for 30 seconds. And then when you start it, you walk at your normal pace. You don't have to be extra fast or extra slow. Make sure you walk at your normal pace and just count the number of steps you're taking and stop counting when it reaches 30 seconds. And you can multiply that by 2 to get your steps per minute. You can also set your timer to be 1 minute, and you just take the number of steps you took within that minute and write that figure into your mind sheet. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to set it to 30 seconds. I'm going to walk there and come back and report how many steps I've taken. Ready, and go. So I counted 52 steps when my timer stopped at 30 seconds. So in terms of steps per minute, that will be 104 steps per minute, which is what I will enter in my mind sheet in my profile section. Okay, so just now we took all the information and recorded all the information about our profile. So I'm going to key in right here. If I remember correctly, my weight was 79.2, but I was wearing clothes, so I'm allowed to deduct 1 kilogram. My weight is 78.2. Next is my height, which is in cm. That's 181. And then we're gonna go over to waist. My waist was, I think, between 87 and 88, so I'll just say 88 cm. And then my resting heart rate, which I think wasn't very accurate because I just drank lots of coffee and gone for a walk. So I'll stick to my heart rate, which was measured in the morning after I woke up. So I'll just say it's about 65. Okay, now the tricky part. The tricky part is your pace. What are you going to do with the walking pace and steps per minute? Well, you're going to put it right here. Okay, it's right here on the side under physical test. And I remember mine was 52 steps in 30 seconds, so double that, multiply that by 2, so I'll just put 104. That's that. Now, the last yellow box is neat calories. And don't worry, we will explain all these terms during our training. But neat calories, we need to go to the neat tab. So go ahead and click on the neat tab to find out what your neat calories are. And I think we'll have to re-enter the number just now that we did. 52 times 2 is 104. Okay. You might get a version of the Mindsheet where this number straight away pops out because it gets the value from the other side. So now what you want to do is take a look at this guide and try and think about on your daily life how many minutes of walking you do or how many steps you do. If you have a step counter that you're using on your phone, then you just count either the steps or the minutes. So you can also decide to do that on a lifestyle that you want to walk 200 calories worth of you want to burn about 200 calories through walking, and that means you will be walking for 24 minutes or 2,497 steps. So whatever it is, try and choose a number that's accurate for your current lifestyle or for a lifestyle that you want to adopt. And for me, I want to burn 300 calories, so I'll just say 36 minutes right here. It's kind of half filled up for me already. So if I put 36 minutes here, that will pop out 300 calories. And that's something I'm comfortable saying I will do on a daily basis. And it's important to think about, if you don't have a step counter that calculates for you how many steps you do every day, try and think about all the walking you do, like from your car to the office, from the office back to the car, to the walking to the restaurant for your lunch, or going back to your condo for a little walk after dinner. So yeah, just total up all those in terms of minutes or steps, and you will get this number here in terms of calories. When you have that number, you can go back to your profile and you put that number in here. Say whether it's part of your lifestyle or it's part of what you want to commit to. I want to have 300 calories worth of NEAT. NEAT in this case, by the way, stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is a long way to say the calories you burn through your normal everyday lifestyle, not when you want to go for an exercise session in the gym or in the track. So that gives me a very, very important number, which we will tell you about during the training, which is my BMR plus NEAT calories, 1,975. And that is a real coincidence. That's actually the year of my birth. Okay, never mind. So then that's what we want you to train and learn about. If you want to eat in a calorie deficit or surplus, that's the rough estimation of the number that you need to eat below or above if you wanted to lose weight or gain weight. It's a really, really important number to be mindful of, and it will change as you age and as you grow lighter or as you go heavier. Okay, so that's all I think for the yellow sheets that you need to fill out, except for one, this strange one called blind one-legged stand. Don't worry about that. That will be done during your training session as well. Okay, so I hope this was good. A good start for your training session. It will definitely speed things up along when we start your training on that day. And I look forward to seeing you.